You know what happens when you have to do production and casting at the same time and you have a million things going on? No, I just forgot to swap off of the music. My name is Finnick, joined on the... Okay, let's redo intro. Welcome one, welcome all, and welcome back to the Zero Gravity Gaming Gold League. It is week 3. It is Abyssal, Sapphire versus Lemonades. My name is Finnick, joined on the desk today, as always, by the ever-lovely Thousand Eyes, and all the way from land down under, new addition to the team, JK. How are you two doing? As if we didn't do this intro before. Lemonades. You should be, unless... Oh, see, okay. So fun fact, I have like 3 different audio setups I use for like 3 different types of casting. Now you should be able to be heard.
Okay. So are we actually able to be heard?
Yes, you are able to be heard. I see you on the meters. See,
jeez.
Hello.
Week 3 NA production. My 2 co-casters.
If anyone wants
right
to stream, by the way,
please. We'll take up 4 spectate slots. That'll totally go over well.
Yeah.
Once again, though, Lemonades, team made up of a mixture of veteran players here. Exile being kind of their key player, their team captain. Player we've seen quite often. I believe our very first cast 1000 was actually a show match, like a preseason show match with Exile playing. So he's been around for a long time.
Sounds familiar.
Abyssal Sapphire, you got Velos and Mew, who we definitely recognize, but also Golem24, who is a new addition to the roster, but seems to be getting quite a bit of carry time in, so we'll track how well he does tonight. In the draft, we have Ash, Twisted Fate, and Fiora band away with the Kaisa, the Zac and the Malzahar band. Udyr going to be picked up, Maokai and Aphelios in response, Lulu and Jinx, and we're finally caught up. Throwing it over to you two because I need to cry in a corner.
Yeah, so I'm really already excited by Lemonade's composition here because, one, Jinx has gotten buffs this patch. I think she's actually in a really good spot. The Hurricane changes a couple patches ago did a lot of good for her, and then you combo her with the Lulu and the Udyr, which Lulu can just buff up either one of those really and do a lot of work there. So Lemonade's already starting off super strong.
With the Lulu pick as well, it is a flex pick. Like, they haven't shown where the Lulu could be. It could even go top lane. I doubt it with the top laner for Lemonade's Rainstar. He has no games on Lulu, but enemy actually does play more supportive style support, so we could see that go in the mid lane.
Yeah, I think if it goes anywhere other than support, that would be where it goes. The Vi coming through on Malenicus there is like the top champ for Malenicus there, so that is a comfort pick. And we kind of talked about the Aphelios too coming through with some caveats of like having either the really aggro or the really safe kind of play. I think you can get away with it a lot easier with the Lulu and the Jinx that you're up against. And now the Vladimir coming in as well. So this is looking to be a late game scaling comp.
Yeah, with the blind pick of the Vladimir, leaving support to last pick, which is kind of interesting. With the Galio being picked up here, looks to be Galio mid with the Galio Camille Wombo combo. Hextech Ultimatum down, and then Galio just storms straight through as that has been hovered and it's picked up. And I wouldn't be surprised if a Thresh gets picked up here for Abyssal Sapphire.
Yeah, we are expecting that Maokai to be top lane because that is something that is in Colorminoided's champ pool, not something we see in Abyssal. Yeah, there is the Thresh coming through. It's a comfort pick for Mew Life there. Very, very strong composition, but the big thing that worries me with Abyssal's comp is that early game. They're not super strong. They really, like, the Maokai is going to get beat up on by this Camille. The Galio is not going to be able to do anything about this Vladimir, and that's going to let him scale. But overall, like, there's a lot of early game weaknesses here.
Yeah,
they're basically putting Go ahead.
You go ahead. No, you go ahead. It's my job
Okay,
to be the
okay.
village idiot. You're the smart ones.
Alrighty. So what I was about to talk about is the fact that all of their eggs are in the basket of team fighting. You have Aphelios Thresh, who really shouldn't be getting any kills unless a massive mistake is made in the bot lane. Maokai, unless major jungle intervention, and Camille's already used a hook shot, he's not going to be getting any kills on the top side. It's really just Vladimir into the Galio, and Galio's an anti-mage, so doesn't really look like anything can get going unless they're focusing on the objectives early, and they do get some CS leads from just like lane diff.
I mean, kind of what you were talking about, the Galio being an anti-mage. I feel like he's more anti-assassin than anti-mage, generally speaking. Yes, he has the inherent MR. However, Vladimir is very low range for a mage. But Sanguine Pool is still an ability, and he should be able to go into trades with Sanguine Pool and be able to get his combo off without getting taunted up by Shield of Durand. At least that's what I'm expecting, so maybe there's a victory there in lane. But Vlad is not a champion that wins lanes, right? I always like to say, Anivia doesn't win lanes. The only lane she wins against is Vlad. That's no longer the case due to the Anivia buffs, but I think, generally speaking, I think the lane is more even than Galio favored. At least in my personal opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. And on top of that too, just like looking at these compositions, like Abyssal Sapphire's comp is just, we want to go to the latest possible point that we can and then just kind of team fight. But I like Lemonade's composition better because you can see how the combos are going to work together. You have the Udyr who can just clear and run super deep into the enemy team. You have the Camille that combos super well with the Galio. And those three are going to create so much space for this Jinx to be able to run rampant through the rest of the team. And then being buffed by the Lulu at the same time. Like Lemonade's composition it just works together so naturally, and I don't see that from Abyssal Sapphire's team, and that kind of worries me.
Yeah, Abyssal Sapphire, it looks more like a pick comp almost, with the Vi ultimate or the Thresh hook really being able to be the only thing to set things up, whereas you see the side of Lemonades, like you were mentioning, you have Galio, Shield of Durand, Taunt, you have Hextech Ultimatum from Camille off of the hook shot. You can even run a pseudo pick comp with Udyr just running you down with the Phase Rush and the Hextech. What's it called? Like the Chem Tank? Yeah, the Chem Tank. That item. When he picks, Chem Tank Purifier. Whenever he picks that up, he's just so fast. He just zooms at people.
Yeah.
On top of that, I mean, he's just really strong with the Phoenix Dance Rush, right? That's getting nerfed in patch 11.3, but since we're on 11.2,
no, we are on .3, I believe.
No, we're still on.
I did say the skins. Oh, so the skins are out anyway. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm on because I didn't get an update today.
We are 11.3.
We are 11.3. I'm dumb. Forgive me. Okay, he did get nerfed with the Phoenix Dance Rush, but it's still pretty good.
It's still good. No, yeah. Udyr, I don't think the changes really hurt him that bad. Obviously, it'll make him a little bit less damage heavy, but I think just the engage potential is super strong because of the items in the game. The Chem Tank is really, really good for him. And on top of that, just getting you get the Dead Mans, you get so much movement speed. It's really, really absurd. And I don't see Udyr falling apart this patch.
Yeah.
And yeah, if this Udyr does get fed, Lulu can just speed buff him into the enemy team. And then you've got a big scary bear man running at your Aphelios. And you need to heal him off with that Maokai and Thresh. There's so many opportunities for Lemonades here that I just don't see for Abyssal.
Well, at the same time, sorry, go ahead.
Go on. No, for Abyssal, their damage is coming from mainly two sources: the Aphelios and the Vladimir.
Yeah,
the Vladimir doesn't really have any problem staying up. He has the Sanguine Pool to get away if Udyr does run at him, but Aphelios, all he really has is the Gravitum, the purple gun, and if that's a root, and Udyr's just, if he Gravitums the Udyr running at him, he has a Camille that can just hook shot over him. He has so much lockdown and just CC for the Aphelios, I wouldn't be surprised if he runs cleanse actually, like instead of the heal, like opts for that, because in lane he should be fine, but when we go into the mid game, late game, there's so many ways for Lemonades to get on top of that AD carry.
Yeah, kind of at the same time, right? When you take Galio in a comp like this, I always wonder, or when you take Galio and Lulu in a comp, right? Are they going to be playing for that engage, or are they more playing protect the ADC? I think in this particular case, they might be playing more on the back foot, right?
Yeah.
Camille has a very good disengage ultimate. Galio has a very good disengage ultimate, both of whom can kind of peel for the Jinx to do damage in that late game. However, Camille obviously has that split push potential late. She does generally outscale most other top laners, even tank tops. If she goes for Divine Sunder as the build here, which I think she will, should be able to outdamage the Maokai late, or do enough damage to shred through his tank late. But Galio, as a damage source, falls off late. You look towards the Jinx. I think that's where they're going to be playing their late game. Off of this, Jinx is scaling. At the same time, though, right, when it comes to pure damage, outside of the crowd control, right, Vladimir and Aphelios still will outdamage the Lemonade's comp come late game.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest question is that enough when you look at all they have to go through here? The Camille is not going to be a slouch in terms of that, frontline aspect, and the Galio and the Udyr are going to be super big and beefy and buffed up by this Lulu possibly, or the Jinx getting buffed up by the Lulu. Either way, it is a lot to chew through, even with those high damage kind of targets, and you have to chew through those before you get to the actual scary, person of the Jinx.
Yeah, I'm with you there too. I think Galio's probably going to go for the AP build though. As I think that's just a little bit more common.
Absolutely, but it's still a bit hard to chew through him because of that aftershock.
Oh, for sure. And we have aftershock. The game actually loaded in very quickly. So it's time to introduce the teams. On the blue side, it is the Lemonades with Rainster V in the top lane, Exile in the jungle, Enemy in the mid lane, Thanatos in AD carry, and Winnie the Doom in support.
And over on the red side, we've got Abyssal Sapphire, we've got Color Munoided in the top lane, Merlinicus in the jungle, Golem 24 in the mid lane, and Hyam Velos and Abyssal Mew in the bot side.
Yeah, and I believe this is the same enemy we've seen in previous seasons, just a different spelling. Because before it was enemy with like 2 E's at the end. So, yeah, slightly different. Same player, though, I believe. Unless I'm completely wrong, in which case, I'm sorry, chat. But, for the time being, the counter invade came out here for Abyssal Sapphire, but they move off. But they were counter invading on the wrong side of the map. Exile and Rainster are both sitting on this top red buff, and they aren't warded out. So they might be able to grab this, but Udyr will be seen on ward leaving.
Oh,
they've
nope.
seen.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they did, actually. I think the vision... Yeah, we didn't see a ping or anything. I think that ward is blocked by the bush, and they did not see it, actually.
Yeah. They got to be very careful about the vision games, though.
I mean, it was interesting that Color just didn't throw a sapling into that brush, because I'm pretty sure the range can extend to there and give them away, but he will spot them up, obviously seeing that the red buff is being taken by the Udyr.
Yeah, it did start the Bramble Smash there, so did not have a sapling to throw, unfortunately. But right now, Rainster tossing the W backwards. That's not what you want to see early from Camille.
That's one of those cases where you hit spacebar, lock your camera for a second, because if your mouse is just in the wrong position, it's just so difficult to get that ability.
The Vladimir has actually started the Dark Seal into the Galio. Kind of just a bit of a... And the Aphelios has also started Cull. So kind of just going for scaling already, handshaking the fact that they don't think they can be killed in these lanes, and they're just gonna try and farm up or stack the items.
So Vi went towards the top side jungle after 2 camps were taken by the Udyr, despite seeing Udyr on that ward in the river. I feel like the handshake Vertle was a better call. No, but he wasn't on the ward crossing. He had to have been.
They never pinged him.
Oh no.
I don't think they actually saw him. Whether it's because the ward did not catch them or they just weren't watching the map, I don't think they knew that Exile was in that bush there, because I would assume there would be some kind of ping. Even if you are in comms, using pings is super, super good. But nothing came out there.
This will be a triple buff coming in from the Udyr, plus an extra stolen camp. So really strong start from Exile, as Merlinicus has been spotted out by a ward towards the top side. Not really an easy gank onto the Camille early regardless. We'll be taking that Scuttle Crab though, so a little bit of a token of the Rift's gratitude for staying up towards that top side as she rotates back bottom.
The Udyr did pick up a cloth armor, which indicates that he will be going for the build that we said in the champ select. He will be going to be super fast bear, running at people with the chem tank, as he will be spotted by Vaya.
It was a nice hook flay, but Polymorph was ready. Thanatos, though, still got a flash, as Velos had quite a bit of damage ready to go. So, flash for Ignite in the bottom lane. Color me Noid.
Camille in the
top. Out
top.
by Camille Q's, though.
Yeah. Camille doing a lot of work here. As you would expect, a little behind in the CS department. Actually, will fall a little bit more behind, too, because of just how much farm is still available for Color Me. I'm really impressed. That hook was like perfectly placed there to hit Thanatos, and that gives a lot of pressure over to Velos to be able to farm up this lane, and makes the Jinx play a lot further back until they know exactly where this Vi is. I do believe they saw her on that ward, though.
Yeah. Mew Life, though, playing very well bot side. Kind of as we mentioned. Golem, though, also pretty
Oh my god.
I mean, it's a hook
Dead
for a
Jinx.
polymorph. Winnie the Doom's doing exactly what they need to right now on the Lulu, but Jinx is going to have to take an early back. While 16 CS down, this should even up a little bit. So, oh no! The shield came just in the nick of time. Oh no.
That is so scary. I'm actually really surprised that Velos is not playing more far up. They do not have eyes on the Udyr there, and yeah, the Infernum's gonna come through, and that's so scary for Thanatos, because you could just be trying to farm, and the back spray on that is going to take you down. So right now, Thanatos needs to be so careful.
I mean, even though he stayed, he missed like majority of that last wave. Like he's 13 CS down, as he will recall now, and he can't really pick up too much. Like maybe some components of Noon Quiver, but besides that, like maybe the Cull to match the Aphelios farming. No, he will pick up the 2 long swords and the dagger. But yeah, just Aphelios Thresh really just showing how oppressive it is, especially if you have Graviton to just lock them up after the hook and the flay.
It is worth noting that the Jinx lane will get easier than it did in previous patches, because the extra range, one of the buffs that Jinx got in this patch was not just as we do get a pause, not just the attack speed debuff on the rockets getting lower so that Jinx will attack faster when the rockets are out, but also getting extra range for all of the rockets. Every single level has a little bit of extra range on it, and she's going to be shooting from even further and further back as the lane goes on.
Yeah, that's something we didn't touch on in draft, is the Jinx buffs. I think Jinx Lulu is very much like Jinx Aphelios, and that Lulu just enables Jinx so well. I'm still not sold on her being top priority, but she is a very common pick down here in gold, regardless, so any buffs are nice. Also, something we didn't touch on is how well Lulu actually synergizes with the Camille as well. Through use of that Q, you can get quite a bit of true damage in as Lulu buffs up the Camille.
Yeah, 100%. And especially even when the Camille is hopping onto them, doing the true damage, as well as just being able to give them another knock up with the ultimate coming through from Lulu on top of the Camille hook. Like that just another mountain of CC upon whatever target they're focusing.
Mid lane.
By.
Enemy able to get a knock up though. Exile's on his way over. And that should be enough to get the disengage down. Winnie the Doom also around. So getting a little bit close there. Golem 24 still has the ultimate available, as does Enemy. Exile, though, level 5 to Merlinicus is level 5 as well. Although, grant you, level 6 means less on Udyr because Phoenix Stance is always available to take.
You get another point to put into Phoenix Stance.
You always
is
get another
great.
point to put into Phoenix
Exactly!
Here
comes
bot. Nice flash stun. Velo's gonna flash out of the way.
Oh
Heal
my
comes in.
God.
Nice flake from Mew, but Velo still goes down to the Pix autos for first blood. Here comes the re-engage, though. Mew gonna be shocked up. And it's just the first blood for Lemonades, but very nice gank coming in from Exile. This is exactly what we expected to see from him. Playing this, very strong early game carry style jungler.
Yeah, and did you notice that happened after the level 6? So your hypothesis of the Udyr level 6 not being good, proven wrong right away.
I'm just saying, Phoenix Dance is just another ability on Udyr. That's the thing. He doesn't have an ultimate.
I see him using it right now, Phoenix Stance. Phoenix Stance also got the kill, so this is very clearly the ultimate ability.
It's available at level 1!
Even better! That's broken!
So you're saying Mantra's broken as well, because it's available at level 1?
I mean, the difference being that Mantra, you have to use another spell with it for it to actually be worth anything. So, actually, Phoenix Stance is even better.
Well, but you have to level up Phoenix Stance at the beginning. You don't level up Mantra to get it at the beginning.
That's a fair point.
Winning the Doom,
though. No, it's bait. It's a bait.
Exile's here. Bear stance forward. Polymorph into the stun. Now into the Phoenix Stance. Abyssal Mew gonna go ahead and drop the box, but still taken out by Exile. It's very, very smart play coming from that alcove. A little bit of a Season 10 maneuver that, honestly, we didn't see a lot last year, so it's nice to see alcove maneuvers come in from this Lemonade side.
I mean, Lulu just played the role of call an ambulance, but not for me. Just pretending to be absolutely idiotic. Just walking up to a Thresh with no abilities or no safety net. So, I mean, the bait worked. And, I mean, Exile is just going to be able to get even further ahead on this Udyr.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super, super scary, too, because it is the phase rush, going to be running around super fast. Already has the pleated steel caps, which I love as a rush because it's going to allow for this Udyr to just close the gap super, super well early into the game because nobody else sans the supports has those level 2 boots coming through. He will be able to run down anybody at this point.
Whew.
I mean, just that extra little bit of movement speed, like you were mentioning, just gets him into that range to proc phase rush and stick on them because Udyr's so sticky at the moment. If he's on you,
Polymorph.
I don't think you're getting away.
To seal the Herald! Enemy, meanwhile, getting a taunt down onto Golem. He has the Emo Plague available. Flash in, here comes the Hero's entrance. Merlinicus taken down. Thanatos picks up the kill, now excited, getting the zap down into the smite from Exile, and the flash forced out of color being avoided.
What is happening? Why does it have...
Wait,
no!
What?
No!
Why?
Does not have a lot of experience with that Rift Herald very clearly, but we'll get it down. I believe still will get the gold there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah,
Exile,
that
though.
is
He wants more.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about that one, Chief, but...
oh my god, Thanatos hitting that, and I don't think Merlinicus was ready for the Jinx Rocket at all, because, could have smited that.
Enemy
You can still
polymorphed him, so
smite
he
him
couldn't smite.
polymorph. No, you can still smite in polymorph.
You can?
Only thing you can't smite in is suppress. That is the only thing in the game that stops
because
smite.
you can't flash while polymorphed, so I thought you couldn't smite while polymorphed.
Nope, smite is still available. It is only suppress that stops smite.
Learn something new
Which is
every
why
day.
stuff like Warwick is really good, or Malzahar. But yeah, so did not smite, was not ready for it. I mean, maybe didn't know that could still smite. But yeah, the Jinx Rocket comes through, and then Thanatos just using the Blast Cone to just pop into the back line after the Gallia bolt keeps Winnie the Doom alive. that was really, really good communication between the team to get up there, stop the Rift Herald, turn that fight around, and just get a kill over to Thanatos early on.
I mean, Thanatos just showing how powerful his ultimate is, also like Udyr's ultimate, which we saw before in the gank in the bot side, because, hook here, nothing will really come from that. But, I mean, Jinx Rocket always threatens a objective steal. You always have to respect it, and Malinicus just did not respect the fact that potentially he could be Jinx Rocketed, and the Herald went over, Lulu Flash picked that up, and then teamfight went over to Lemonades. It was really well done, like you were saying. Very clean.
Well, the catch-up Mew, Moonlight Vigil, also going to be used. Exile going to go ahead and flash out. Picks up the kill on to the Thresh as Vi pops the ultimate down onto Thanatos. We see the TP coming in, double TP. In fact, they're trying to find Thanatos. They finally do, but here comes the cavalry. There's one going down. Here comes the next one. Double kill for Rainster V, and a dragon for the taking for Lemonades.
That was just really well done, honestly. The double TP's coming through, communicating to the team, saying, hey, they're down here, we need help. And the Galio doing the dirty work, getting all the crowd control. Oh no, goodbye, Winnie.
Doom going to go down low, but pops the shield. Hemoplague not used. Here comes the stun into the Sanguine pool. Lulu's down, Golden 24. That's a flash over the wall.
Flash is up.
Yeah. It's a bit annoying, I think.
I mean, I'll take an Infernal for Lulu dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also importantly in that fight there, Rainster TP'd and got the 2 kills. That actually would not have been worth it for him if he did not get both of those kills, because meanwhile, Color Me Noided has been pushing this lane, already up a bunch of farm here, up over 20 right now, has 4 tower plates down, even without the Rift Herald. Color Me Noided has been really just pushing this wave super well.
Well, this is something I wanted to point out. Now. Actually, it's about a 1,000 gold lead for Abyssal Sapphire before the first tower was about 500, despite losing out both these objectives and being down 3 kills.
Oh, no.
We see Exile come back in, hook lands onto Winnie the Doom, into the Self ultimate. Abyssal Mew gonna go ahead and grab a flay, but he should not be long for the Earth. Jinx gonna pick up the kill, hopefully.
Oh,
the
no.
Super Mega Death Rocket goes excited, tanks a tower shot at the Aphelios route. Summoner Hero barely keeps Thanatos alive. That could have been very deadly.
Oh.
180 years, like that 20 years nerf Aphelios got, that was the only reason why they are still alive. Like, honestly, like, that was so close to being a triple kill.
They fired one developer who had 20 years of game experience, and this is the Aphelios you get. Yeah, Thanatos. I mean, that one was just walking way too close to the tower. I don't know what the idea was there.
Oh no,
as
Velos! Oh no! Not like this!
Ooh, he almost got a kill out of that.
Yeah. Just okay. Okay.
I mean, those
Aphelios.
chompies missing almost cost them their lives, because Aphelios could have traded that. It was really close, because he was able to kite back while auto attacking and doing his thing.
Turbo Cam Tank, though, completed on Exile, as Divine Sunderer was predictably completed on Rainster V. Double Kraken Slayer, X-Tech Rocket Belt, and a Sunfire Aegis. Gonna be the other mythics completed.
Yeah, neither AD carry opting for the Gale Force, which we do see at a high levels of play, because the burst damage it provides, as well as the safety, with both of these AD carries not having any built-in dashes or really self-heal, or too much of it. The Gale Force is sometimes a good op, but the damage that comes through from Kraken Slayer is kind of ridiculous, so I understand why they've gone for that.
Yeah, especially when you've got, like, if you have red-white Aphelios, the Q on the red gun will... Oh, goodbye, Thanatos.
Correct, thank you.
Yeah, that's just about as straightforward as it gets there, using the Vi ultimate, but really that's fine. Yeah, white Aphelios going to be tearing through those towers, and now we are seeing the trade for the Rift Herald there. A good call to say we're gonna, sack this bot lane turret, sack the AD carry. We cannot save him, so let's just take what we can, get the Rift Herald, and then open up opportunities in other areas of the map.
They might have needed to break open this mid turret, so I think they'll wait.
Let me know it. Already got the ultimate off. Going to get the polymorph as well. Here comes the Galio with the ultimate. Winning the Doom has attack out of the fight, but here comes Velos. Velos is so low, but he's able to get the kills. Oh my God! 3 for 0, and Velos. What the heck?
I think we found the 20 years, guys.
I think so.
It was an extra
only got credited
couple
with
minutes.
1 kill there,
Yeah.
but like he did all the damage that fight.
Yeah,
That's Kraken Slayer.
Yep. That was Kraken Slayer, and that was also just like the positioning there. The flank from Color Me Noided got a huge Nature's Grasp coming through, and just locking everyone up. There was no escape route. They wanted to kite away from the Aphelios, but they couldn't because there was a Maokai there, and there was no Jinx in that fight, so that was exactly the perfect fight for Abyssal Sapphire.
Oh man.
As a result, Vladimir was able to pick up 6 dark. He has 6 Dark Seal stacks now, so the Vladimir ramping up, got his Lucidity boots, his most likely building towards the Cosmic Drive, the movement speed item that lets him be even more sticky in these fights, as he was able to pick up the Finnish Codex. But positioning around this dragon, Abyssal Sapphire might be able to pick up the first one, or force a fight at least.
Well, the positioning is here from Lemonades, but they don't have their 2 key ultimates in the Hextech Ultimatum and the Hero's Entrance, so they just have to seed it.
Yeah, and do want another Nature's Grasp coming. That one's not going to hit.
Yeah.
But zoning ultimate.
Sometimes you got to just try for those, see if it works. It's not the longest cooldown in the world.
So,
and you don't hit all of those.
Here's something I want to point out from the last fight. Rainstar V and Enemy didn't really stack their ultimates. They have this wombo combo ideal where you grab the carry and then you just knock them up, right? And Rainstar V did get Velos in the Hextech Ultimatum, but I believe Enemy used the ultimate beforehand, and so they weren't able to chain the CC, and all of a sudden, everyone's dead. And plus, the Lulu ultimate was used early as well onto Winnie the Doom instead of saving the wild growth for Rainstar. So perhaps, it's partially Velos playing that very well, but perhaps it's also a bit of a missed execution coming in from Lemonades.
Goodbye, Mew.
Yeah. Aphelios pops the ultimate, should be able to trade back onto Exile. Never mind. Bear is tanky. Here comes the Vine ultimate, but a nice bit of an ultimate comes in from the Lulu. Enemy barely not able to get Merliticus in trade. It's a Thresh for a Bear Man, also known as a Phoenix Man, also known as a Turtle Man, and a Tiger Man.
I call it Moodier. Honestly, oh no. There's more.
That's the wrong person to grab there, but no, it's something.
So Exile almost got out of that, which was really impressive, but yeah. No, he died. Exile died.
I thought he got out.
Merlinicus got out. Exile did not.
Yeah, it was the Thresh and the
It was the
Yep, you're right. You're right.
Yep. Let the smart people talk, Finnick. It's our time. as we do see Enemy running back up to the mid lane. Yeah, so these fights are just kind of always starting off on the wrong foot here. Exile got super deep, did not have the team to follow up, and that just meant that he was not going to be able to get out. All of the protection was burnt onto him, and that meant they really couldn't push that fight any further either. So now looking at the Baron getting vision in that area, do want to point out quick, the Turbo Chem Tank on Abyssal Mew, actually. So not what you're used to seeing. I would have rather seen the Locket, but there are some uses for this item, and I think importantly, if you're not used to playing against a support with that item, that can throw people off.
What about Imperial
I mean, the
Mandate
extra
Thresh?
little bit of movement speed.
Come on.
Imperial. Ah! The Turbo Chem Tank gives Thresh the ability to just run you down and flay you instead of first having to land the hook. Relieve some pressure on Abyssal Mew to land those important hooks, because running up next to someone or flash flaying is easier with that movement speed. But the protection you give up not running the locket really makes it a little bit more difficult for Aphelios to stay up as they start the Baron here.
Yeah, Golem 24 in the meantime. Silently 2-0-2 on the Vladimir, but this is the point early in this game. Exile to get ulted on by the Galio. Flash, 3-man taunt. Velos has to flash out of the way. Hextech ultimatum was going to be used, but they're not going to be able to sack the ultimates. Rainster, though, going to be taken up by Velos through a nice ultimate. Now enemies in trouble, going to be flayed back in toward Velos. Double cover the Aphelios. Here comes the flash into the Tangle. That's 2 more kills going over, and Winnie the Doom all alone goes ahead and dies. Clean ace for Abyssal Sapphire, and they grab the Baron.
Yeah, what a great fight there from Abyssal Sapphire. The Udyr got caught out with the hook early on, forced the Galio ultimate, which meant that Galio and Udyr were the only two that were able to run down this Aphelios, not able to get onto him at all. And meanwhile, Thanatos is stuck trying to run away from Vi and Vladimir, trying to get to the rest of his team to help them out, but not able to do so.
Oh, man.
Absolutely beautiful peeling on the side of Abyssal Sapphire. Like, that Aphelios just had the room and the space to kite back and just be able to get his damage down, doing exactly what he wants to do. AoE auto attacks with Runans, plus the blue gun. Sorry, having a bit of a mind blank, but just
Inferno.
massive amounts of AoE, just culling through the team. And with Kraken Slayer proccing, and he has now picked up the Executioners. Healing will go down from the Camille and the Udyr.
On top of that,
Weird.
it's the second fight in a row where Galio used the ult first, and we saw Rainster, he got the ultimate onto Velos once again, but there was no follow-up. Lulu was nowhere nearby. Galio had already popped the ultimate to defensively go into exile. At some point, you just have to realize, or at some point, you just have to make the call, guys, we have to use our wombo, because otherwise, you don't get the combo.
Yeah, and also importantly too, like, the reason this is happening is because they're constantly getting caught out here. Speaking of which,
oh no, Galio though, he's able to get a 3-man taunt. Mew goes down, that's the first kill going over. We see Lulu on the side of the fight. Exile though is gonna get caught up,
Jinx.
and the Jinx gets taken down. Velos does so much damage. The flash into the Q over the wall from Golem 24. Another ace coming in for Abyssal Sapphire. This one just might be game. They have a minute left on the Baron buff and have 4 of their 5 members up.
Yeah, 20 seconds to knock down some turrets, I think, is ample time, and they'll take this first one, Abyssal Sapphire, for sure. Just beautiful team fighting from the side. I mean, Velos and Golem just getting down so much damage in these fights. Absolutely incredible stuff from them.
Yeah, indeed. And we got the spectator bug once again, so we don't get to see the Noxus exploding, but you get to see our beautiful faces, or these two people's beautiful faces and my ugly one. But still a very nice game from Abyssal Sapphire there. I'm really impressed with how well they were able to transition the early game into the mid game, especially because it felt like they were on the back foot tempo-wise, although they never lost the gold lead this entire game.
Yeah, I mean, just if you look with their gold lead, like, they had the money where they wanted it, whereas the first blood went over to Lulu, I'm pretty sure, on the side of Lemonade. So just Abyssal Sapphire got the gold where they wanted it. They had it on the Aphelios, on the Vlad, on the Vi, and just able to keep the kills coming, keep the snowball rolling. And if you look at the damage charts, Velos 19k damage, 7,000 over the next closest, which is Galio on the other team, and that he just did so much. Like, that pick's insane.
I mean, also on top of that too, every single fight was Lemonade's getting caught out, especially Exile. Like, Exile was just so far forward, trying to look for these engages with the chem tank and just running forward, thinking that he was just this super impossible to kill tank. And that's not exactly what this Udyr was. The hooks coming through from Mew on top of the follow-up from Velos were just able to shred him every single time. And every fight at the beginning of it, we saw Exile running out of it, which is not what Udyr needs to be doing in this composition.
I'm with you. I'm with you 100%, thousand, especially when you get this early lead on the Udyr, right? Yes, First Blood went over to Lulu, but Udyr was able to go ahead and pick up these kills, right? At one point, it was 6 kills to 3 in that early game. And when you are your team's win condition, you can't afford to make hyphy plays when the rest of your team isn't prepared for them, right? You have to be like, okay, I'm looking for this. Be ready to go for this wombo, right? But it always felt like Exile was going in without communicating, or at least it looked like that from our perspective. And that type of play leads to carries falling off, right? Udyr shouldn't have been able to throw away the lead as much as he did.
I mean, 100%. Like you were mentioning before with the Galio ultimates coming out like prematurely, it was almost in response to going, oh, we're in a fight, I have to ultimate in because I'm out of it from enemy. And he was forced to use the grand entrance just before Camille was able to set up a Hextech ultimatum. And when you don't have that wombo, you're on the back foot already. That's what you've drafted this team comp around. And if you're not able to execute that when you want it and pick those engages, you're just letting Lemonade do what they want, which is just follow up and get picks. One pick opens up the team fight, and Velos is able to clean it up as well as Golem and just a massive amounts of damage. Just following up off of Udyr just misstepping and being not quite in the right spot, trying to do too much with the chem tank.
I think it also comes down to Mew as well. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I don't really have much else to add. I think that kind of just really is the story of the game. It was just not super great positioning and always being on the back foot in these fights, and you can't do that when you have Camille Galio.
Yeah, and on top of that, right, it's not just, oh, they made the mistakes. It's also Mew was always in position to punish them.
Yeah.
On this Thresh pickup. I mean, we kind of memed about the Turbo Chem Tank being a little bit weird, but it worked out here for Abyssal Mew on that Thresh. I guess it's going to be banned away game number 2. But before that, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. When we get back, it'll be game number 2 of Abyssal Sapphire versus Lemonades. Don't go anywhere. We will see you after the break. Welcome one, welcome all, and welcome back to the Zero Gravity Gaming Gold League Week 3 matchup between Lemonades and Abyssal Sapphire. My name is Fennec. To my left, your right, is the lovely Thousand Eyes, and to her left, your right, once again, is our friend from down under, JK. And after that victory from Abyssal Sapphire, we're looking to see how they adjust in this Game 2 draft.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that Lemonades are able to pick something maybe a little bit less conditional, something that is like, I don't know, like this is literally just off the top of my head, something like a Malphite where like your ability can't be used in a way that is going to be incongruous with what your comp wants to do, because I think they fell into the trap of, oh crap, my team's dying, I need to use the Galio ultimate, when forgetting that they need the Galio ultimate to combo with that Camille.
Yeah, 100%. Like, drafting something a bit more flexible, not like one obvious, like, if they don't execute the wombo, the effectiveness of the comp drops quite a bit. Yeah, so something like a Malphite, which has, like, you can use that ultimate to get a pick as well as using it in a team fight. There's multiple use cases for that ability. Whereas, I guess with the Galio trap of they were misusing it a little bit and just not having it up when they really wanted it to layer it with the Hextech Ultimatum.
Yeah, and I mean, like, when I look at it like the Malphite does one thing. Like, he goes in and he knocks people up. They were using the Galio to protect people, not to use it for an engage tool. And that was not what they needed to do. They needed to use it as part of that engage and position better to get that opportunity to use it as that engage tool. Regardless, we're seeing Abyssal Sapphire with the salty run back right now. Got the Maokai and the Vi in the pocket right now. The Aphelios and the Thresh and the Vlad have been banned. So from here on out, got to be brand new from Abyssal, and Lemonade's completely changing up their comp.
Yeah, Udyr was banned out. Jarvan's going to be picked up by Exile. This is a champion he's quite known for, so I expect probably a level 2, not necessarily a level 3 coming in from the Jarvan. I could be wrong, though. It could be the level 3. They have Orianna to Wombo as well. I'm going to expect MF and Leona bans, one or the two. Actually, Kais has been picked. I'm going to expect a Leona ban to stop the Wombo coming in from Lemonades from Abyssal Sapphire. But the Xerath being picked up, this is most likely a mid lane Xerath, as Golem has played this before. I believe week 2 he played mid lane Xerath. So definitely a nice pick into the Orianna, in my opinion.
100%. I mean, Golem in solo queue, he has played quite a bit of Xerath. I think it's his number 1 champion he's played. Like, he has a very good win rate on it. It's a comfort pick, and into the Orianna, that extra bit of range you have really lets you control the lane. And because he is a rookie in this split, comfort picks are great to make them feel confident and able to do what they want to do and just back themselves to carry for their team. As he had a very good game 1.
Yeah. On top of that too, like, just into the Orianna specifically, like, Orianna does not have ways to deal with poke terribly well. She likes those kind of like mid to low range matchups where she can constantly harass people with the ball movement. She can't do that in this lane because Xerath is never going to get in range. It is going to be just a farm fest for her, but she's constantly going to be dealing with poke at the same time.
Yeah, and as we look at the bans here, Leona and Lulu banned away. So Leona ban makes a lot of sense here. You already have Jarvan and Orianna. MF and Morgana actually going to be banned away by Lemonades, as it will be the Ezreal AD carry. They're just picking down the order here. But honestly, like, I don't blame them pick order wise. I think they knew they were going to play Maokai top. They knew they wanted to play Vi in the jungle. And the Xerath pick showed itself here. So with the support and top lane picks for Lemonades, they need to figure out something that'll work well here. Rumble's available if they go for the pressure cooker, but it might actually just be the Poppy. And it is.
Yeah, blind or not blind picking that, taking that into the Maokai. So just going to be a beefcake matchup up at the top side there. And we'll see what they're going to... Yeah. And we'll see how they're going to round out their composition here.
Yeah. I think Lemonades are happy to handshake the island on the top side of the map. with the Poppy and the Maokai, and showing that they want to be aggressive in the bot side with the Nautilus being picked up.
Yeah, the classic there, the Nautilus with the Kaisa. There's so much crowd control. You could just follow up with all of Nautilus's skills there, which you love to see. Nautilus does do a significant amount of damage for a tank support, and that is a very aggro comp there that you're seeing.
Wait, what? Is that
Oh,
actually
it's
their
support Maokai. They flexed
Oh no,
it.
true, yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, so here's the thing. Urgot is a champion that Color Me Noided has played twice thus far. In week 1 in their victory up against RAR. So this is definitely a pick that they have played before. Maokai support, though, alongside the Ezreal, I think the reasons for doing this is A, Urgot punishes melee matchups very well, and B, Maokai does not work super well into Poppy with Steadfast Presence. So that's their reasoning. However, Urgot generally, while he's good in melee matchups, still has a dash that Steadfast Presence can mitigate quite well as part of his basic trade combo.
Urgot actually got buffed, or is getting buffs this patch. I'm not sure if it was 11.3 or it was 11.4, but I'm pretty sure into Poppy, like one of my good friends, he mains Urgot. He literally plays it whatever lane he goes into, and Urgot is all he wants to do is get to level 9. As soon as he gets tier 2 shotgun knees, it's Urgot time. And like as soon as he gets it always up, that's when Urgot starts to really be a menace, and Poppy is not really threatening the Urgot at all. So Urgot gets a free ride to level 9. So I think the Urgot's really intelligent to last pick this one here.
Yeah, not in this patch yet are those changes.
Okay,
But,
it must have been
yeah,
this is the PBE.
Yeah, so, but still, I mean, like you said, Urgot does not really mind going up against the Poppy there. And the Steadfast Presence, it is going to be up to Rainster to be able to stop that dash when it comes through, because if that is used incorrectly, that is a big go button for Color Me Noided to be able to run this Poppy down, which he will be able to do, I think, in the early to mid portions of this game. Later on, Poppy's going to get fairly tanky and a little bit harder to deal with, at least from a trading standpoint. But yeah, this is a bit sketchy. It is very heavily on using that block to not get jumped on.
Yeah, I mean, once again, Poppy's, I think, is very good into the Vi, as well as the Maokai, specifically due to the Steadfast Presence, but you're right, it's triple dashes. Steadfast Presence does have a cooldown. If you use one of those dashes to bait Steadfast Presence, you can use the other ones after it's down to potentially get in onto this Orianna or onto the Kaisa. Kaisa does play a little bit far forward for AD carries, though, as the ultimate does give her a shield, so she has this ability to kind of dive in onto this Ezreal or the Xerath, potentially. But when we go back to this Urgot pick, I think it also plays into the pick style comp that we saw from them last game. Urgot Vi, very strong pick champions, as well as the Maokai to an extent. Teamfight ultimates are down this game. As far as like what's actually useful in a teamfight, they don't really have any non-pick ultimates. I mean, I guess Xerath ultimate's technically a teamfight ult, and same with Maokai. Maokai's more on the counter engage.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, Maokai's really looking to be a bit of a flank, like I don't know, his engages will be follow-up, like you were saying, or counter-engage. And it does give Ezreal even more safety, because Ezreal is probably the most safe AD carry. And Kaisa Nautilus wants to kill that Ezreal, like 100%. And there will be quite a bit of poke coming out from the Ezreal Maokai. And if Maokai opts to go for the Imperial Mandate build, which I have seen quite a bit of recently, that's a hell of a lot of damage coming out from just your support champion who builds tank.
She is a champion of the Imperial Mandate Maokai build. We've had this discussion a million times.
Beautiful.
Yeah, this is the. I would be surprised if it was anything but the Imperial Mandate there. The bigger question, really, to me is: are we going to see the Comet or are we going to see the Aftershock? Because I'm much more a fan of the Aftershock than the Comet, because I feel like still having that beefiness to be able to utilize your W and your ultimate to be at least somewhat of a front line. Otherwise, you're just kind of really just all-inning on your E, and that's all you are as a champion.
100%. And if you're building Imperial Mandate, where are the tank stats coming from until you get your second item? They're not.
Yeah.
So you need that aftershock for that pseudo tank, that extra magic resistant armor coming through that aftershock provides. Like, yes, the Comet will help with the poke that you'll be doing with the saplings, with the Ezreal mystic shots, but you need to be a tank. You are a tank. You're Maokai, and aftershock provides that pseudo tank until you get to the 2 and 3 items. And when you're a support, those are delayed by quite a bit.
Yeah, and we're also going to see a little bit, we're going to see more aggressive jungling from Exile and Merlinicus, the Vi coming through once again, and the Jarvan as well coming through this time with that Udyr taken away. I am really, really excited to see the Jarvan because we haven't seen a whole lot of them. One, between the Orianna ultimate being able to follow up with that really well, and the Poppy ultimate, or not the Poppy ultimate, the Poppy E being able to slam people into that man-made wall is going to be super, super key, I think. Obviously, the Ezreal will be able to get out of that pretty well, but other than that, the Vi will get out, but yeah, that's it. Nobody else is really going to be able to get out unless the Maokai has a little help to dash to somebody. It's looking pretty good on that aspect, and I know Exile's been playing this champ a lot, despite the fact that it has fallen off in popularity. So this is going to be something that I'm going to keep a big eye on to see which jungler is able to get that gas pedal down first and kind of control the tempo of the game.
Well, Jarvan is one of those picks that I think is meta-agnostic, if you will, especially down at lower elos, right? If you have someone who plays Jarvan, they're going to play Jarvan. Jarvan Orianna, still a very strong combo, and as you mentioned, that Poppy adds to it as well. And my concern, though, from Lemonades isn't necessarily that the Jarvan pick won't work out. It's last game they had a Wombo setup, and they didn't really use it. This game, they have the same type of setup. This one initiated by enemy in the mid lane, or by Jarvan, most likely going to be by the Orianna. So are they going to be able to communicate that effectively? Because last game, it was Galio just kind of went in with the ultimate without really paying attention to the Wombo potential or where Lulu or Camille were. Now we see this, and I'm just wondering, you know, are they going to be able to execute on that Wombo? I know they played this type of comp last game. I'm concerned when you run it back like this after failing at that particular aspect of fights.
I think they'll be fine because the Jarvan ultimate can only be used in one way. Like you are going in, you are attacking somebody. You can't use the Jarvan ult really to protect somebody terribly well. So I'm not as worried, and the Orianna Shockwave, like, that's a little bit less, like, I think the issue that they ran into in the last game was more that those ultimates could be used in different types of situations, and they didn't recognize what those situations were that they needed to use those in. This time around, you can't really go wrong with just Jarvan ulting and then following up with the Orianna. There's not really a lot of other situations you're going to look to do that.
Top lane invade,
100%.
gonna be spotted out by the Urgot here. They saw it.
But did they know they got saw? They know
No,
they got seen. I am having a stroke.
It's all right, 1000. We can call an ambulance after the cast. Because League of Legends is more important than your mental health. I mean, what? I didn't say that.
That's not mental. That's physical health. Having a stroke is more than mental. That's
Mental health and physical health are the same thing. Change my mind.
You're not wrong, but also that's not what most people mean.
Well, also, an aneurysm is something that happens in the brain, right? That's still mental health. But junglers starting on the bottom side of the map here.
100%. They'll meet at the top scuttle. If we were mentioned on the Wombo combo, what we were saying before, it's a lot easier for Orianna to get a big shockwave off. With all she has to do is throw the ball onto the Jarvan, and then she just has to press Alt like R as Jarvan ults, as supports are in the mid lane.
Yeah.
You know, it's the new strat.
Yeah.
It's called the 1-2-1 strat. Also known as
Also known as your support being AFK.
well, I was more thinking also known as the as the feed the Yi strat. Remember that strat?
Funneling.
No,
yeah.
no, thank you. No, thank you.
I mean, it was the jungler that was mid, not the other support, but sure. Can we get Dota strats? 2 supports, 1 in the top lane, 1 in the bottom lane.
You and your
Wrong
Dota.
game. Wrong game.
Yeah, no. Don't get used to that. That happens a lot here.
I mean, we see Exile make the level 3 happen topside, but unfortunately no summoners, so that's unfortunate for the Jarvan. Not going to be able to get too much at the level 3. He does get the priority on the Scuttlecrap as there was a full clear bot side from Linicus, so this should be Jarvan's prerogative at the moment, but as he plays towards this Vi, he actually didn't pick up the Scuttle. That's a little bit dumb. Not dumb. A little bit difficult, I think.
He's wasted a lot of time.
It is a little bit dumb.
Trying to say.
I'm gonna be. I'm going back on my wording there. It is a little bit dumb. Like, you know that you're not gonna be in contested for Scuttle. You just missed the gank top. It is a waste of time. And Vi's able to grab this bottom Scuttlecrap uncontested. They have wave priority bot side as well, which is not something you expect when you're up against the Kai'Sa Nautilus. But Velos has a 10 CS lead on Thanatos. Once again, grabbing this early CS lead.
Yeah, the pressure from the poke coming out from the Maokai Ezreal with the saplings and the mystic shots can get you like a pseudo kind of advantage. Just the pressure of just being berated over and over.
Well, Merlinicus forcing the flash, gonna get the flash follow-up barrier, but or sorry, cleanse, excuse me. But,
don't know what the cleanse was.
I thought that was barrier, because that's the only summoner spell you would ever pop in that scenario. But I guess enemy thought they had barrier. That's like the only way that exchange works the way it does. Regardless, first blood over onto the Vi, which is really, really nice. Actually, getting early kills onto Hail of Blades Vi.
Good pathing from Merlinicus to get around on the backside there, and yeah, enemy just trying to push out there, really, really not paying attention and not keeping track of where the Vi was, costs him his life and his summoner spells.
100%. And if you look at the Vi's been more active on the map. Vi's influenced the mid lane. Vi's picked up a kill for herself, and she has a 10 CS lead over the Jarvan, and her bot side camps are up, so she'll be able to clear up again. So she just has a massive tempo advantage over this Jarvan, and the mistake he made of just not really doing a hell of a lot after clearing both on his first clear, it's kind of starting to make him fall behind in this jungle matchup.
Yeah, now we see Exile hovering around this bot side here. Will get the gang through.
There's the hook into the flag and drag. Mew should end up falling. Gets the twisted advance regardless. What do they do? Ends up picking up the kill. Flash for flash. As Velos is able to make their way out. Excuse me, not flash for flash. That's a flash for arcane shift. So not necessarily worth the trade, but also, you know, Exile, we said this is kind of a key win condition for the Lemonade's roster, and falling behind in the jungle like this, yes, you were able to get a gank off bot, but you're still behind in tempo to this Vi. And when you are kind of the star player of your team, where do you look, right? Velos should be able to recover from losing a Maokai early. Exile, meanwhile, likes getting these kills early on. This is his style of jungling. This is how he wants to play. And if he's not able to do that, you gotta wonder how well it's gonna work. Flash forward into the flip. Rainster gonna go and pop the Keeper's Verdict! And a solo kill. Meanwhile, Merlinicus in a little bit of trouble, taking out a 300 health. Got to dash out of the way. Cathy and Rain, not enough damage.
Oh, good block.
Yeah, and looking at that top lane there, the ultimate from the Urgot did not hit there, did not get hooked into the Poppy. That would have been game changing there. Would have actually made Urgot win that fight, but unfortunately missed it. And Rainster able to turn that around, get the kill, and get out okay. Meanwhile, the push in that mid lane will mean the Dragon started here.
No. Getting some damage in with the Xerath in the meantime. Finds the
stun.
He
Missed
did
the
the
hook.
Xerath ultimate. Exile's down. And that should mean free Dragon, as Winnie the Doom is down to 100 health themselves. Enemy does not have Shockwave.
Yeah, it'll just be the Dragon going through now. Underestimated the damage Dragon can do. Remember, Wind Dragon is the most damage heavy dragon. It attacks faster than the other ones, and just really will shred through whoever is tagging it there. Exile got super low, had to back out, couldn't start that fight, and then the stun in combination with the hook from Winnie the Doom missing meant that Xerath was able to pop down Exile, and his team confirmed that kill by getting it on to Jarvan and getting the Dragon as well.
Yeah, again, Golem showing how proficient he is on this mid lane pick of the Xerath, showing he lands his stuns when he needs to, setting up the gank for First Blood onto the Vi as well. He did a great job of making sure he could follow up the Vi and get the kill there, and once again, doing a great job of punishing the mistakes, and Xerath does damage, and he was able to land the skill shots he needed to do, and it actually worked out quite well because Ezreal now has picked up his first kill, and he's able to get the Caulfield's Warhammer and Lucidity Boot, so lots of cooldown reduction, ability haste on this Ezreal.
It'll always be CDR.
Watch your tongue.
It'll always be CDR to me, much like there'll always be Ninja Tabi and not plated steel caps. Like, Golem showing very well on this Xerath, but also just in this series, right, on the Vladimir, got some very key flanks off, and he's a rookie to ZGG, new to the team. He's showing that he's able to communicate well with some of these plays, right, that play around Dragon just now does not happen without good communication, and a nice keeper's verdict from Rainster to keep Color Me Noided from making a gank happen. But definitely strong play from this rookie in Golem 24. Meanwhile, though, Exile still the player that we're looking to show up for Lemonades in the meantime, and it's just looking like perhaps the mental boom here. Ooh. Oh, 2 ultimates for a flash. That is not fun.
That's technically like worth it when you think about it, but like it still feels real bad. It does not feel worth it in the moment.
I mean, they got 100%. The wombo off.
Uh-oh.
In theory. Abyssal Muse out of there.
Had to burn the flash, though. And yeah, Exile getting a lot of pressure on the map right now.
I mean, if it is a good thing for Exile, right? They got the wombo off. That was the first time they got a wombo this entire series.
Oh, no.
Well, direct-to-camera's not showing mid, so I assume he doesn't get the kill. But enemy still chunked out very low. The Q almost kills. As Keeper's Verdict keeps Color Me Noided from getting a kill topside. Relenticus, though, he pops the Rift Herald after grabbing it. Should be able to grab quite a few plates. Rainster getting some damage in it on the meantime.
Yeah, no, the Poppy should be fine in its topside, and I guess Rainster's doing a great job of negating the Urgot. And yeah, it wasn't really an outplay that got him the solo kill in top lane, more of a misplay from Color Me Noided, but you still got to put the pressure on the Urgot to miss the ultimate, and he just did so, and the Bramble Vest really makes the Urgot cry. 100% Bramble Vest rush, very intelligent from Rainster. Grievous Wounds really doesn't make him happy.
Oh no. Oh no. Abyssal Mew should end up falling here, but still, that missed flash hook could have been disastrous if Mew had ultimate available.
No. We'll get the kill in the end of it there, and yeah, honestly, to me, it's not even the Grievous Wounds that really hurts for Color Me Noided. It's the fact that the W max on the Urgot means he's going to be pelting a bunch of quick shots into this Poppy, and the Bramble Vest is going to reflect so much damage back at Color Me Noided and make it so hard to trade.
Yeah, 100%. The way you're hitting yourself kind of coming through from the Bramble Vest. Like, 10 magic damage
Look
doesn't
at it.
sound like a lot.
Yeah, look at
It's
it.
just dead here, I think. Oh, no.
Turn it off, dude!
Yeah.
Turn off the minigun!
One thing I am seeing from Color Me Noided is he's not doing the optimal damage from Urgot. You want to be doing 2 procs a shotgun knee, then auto attack, then 2 procs a
here
shotgun
comes the
knee, then
wombo.
auto attack.
Okay. Yeah, so this is what we were missing game 1, and this is very good play from enemy this game. Reflecting, hey, we missed the Wombos game 1. We're gonna find him game 2.
Uh-oh.
And they find the kill. Mew in a little bit of trouble. He has the ultimate, but here comes Merliticus in with the ultimate. We see the TP coming in the nick of time. Merliticus now in a 1v5 scenario as Maokai pops the ultimate. The Vi goes down. Dragon's available. This should be Lemonade's first dragon of the game if they choose to accept it, but the TP's coming in from the Xerath in the meantime.
Okay, I want to point this out now before we get into anything else. Abyssal Mew not going for the poke Maokai build, going for the full tank Maokai, maxing that W first.
They peel off the dragon. You can't afford to do this. Exile has the flag and drag though.
Yeah.
But it's pulled into the river. He can't make it into the pit. You can't afford to seed those at all if you're Lemonades.
I mean, that was their dragon to take, and they just were bullied off of it. They scared off by the amount of members that Abyssal were able to get to the dragon pit, and they just conceded a dragon, which otherwise they really should have at least fought for. But no, turning their tails.
Exile got a little bit too low there to really risk it, and yeah, the poke from Golem is just so hard to deal with. You look at this Ezreal and Xerath, it's so hard to take these objectives because you're not only getting hit by the dragon, but you're getting hit by all of those abilities at the same time, and you don't have a way to mitigate that damage. Nobody on this team can mitigate that damage except for maybe the Orianna. Like, everybody's short range, they have to like full on engage if they want to make that poke stop.
No, 100%.
Mythics though.
Ezreal has been able to pick up the Mana Mune. Most likely going to be looking for the Divine Sunderer to cut through Poppy and the Nautilus, doing a little bit more damage. And the Xerath will be going Luden's Echo. I just played a game of
It's not
Aurora
Luden's.
on Xerath.
It's not Luden's.
Oh yeah, Luden. What's it called?
It's
now?
Leandri's it's Leandri's Torment.
Oh, would you go Leandri's on Oh, that makes sense because the amount of poke you are getting down. No, 100%. That does sound like a very good build as well.
I mean, it's not the common item, but this is the only thing those 2 items can build into with the Lost Chapter plus Fiendish Codex. Leandri's builds out a Blasting Wand plus Lost Chapter. Or not Leandri's, Luden's. Excuse me. Both start with an L.
Yeah. Yeah.
So did you see Winnie trying to roam around here, has those Mobies completed, and not even regular boots finished from you here. This is a Maokai that says, I just want to lane. I just want to run up and be tanky. And meanwhile, Rainster starting
he's
to turn
picking
the
up the
thing around.
shield. This is really smart play from Rainster. Exile gonna force a flash out of Golem with the
Every
ultimate. Gets
time.
stunned.
Yeah,
I mean,
every
that's-
time.
That's the carry threat right now. Thanatos though!
Oh!
Oh, great!
Is he scripting?
A great right of the Arcane coming in from Golem 24. They lose the tower, but here comes Fly into the back line. Exile taken down low. Golem 24 with the unofficial double kill as Merliticus picks up enemy. Oh no. Not like this. Thousands. JK, not like this.
I mean, I don't really know what to say at this point.
That was just too far forward there. They got the flash out of Golem there, stuck around to try and get that tower afterwards, but then the poke from Golem, once again, the ultimate came through, Thanatos hit all of those, and then the Nature's Grasp came from the outside, once again showing Abyssal that or showing that Color Me Noided is not the only person comfortable with those flank ultimates there. Will lock down everybody, and then the Vi just chasing down Orianna. That's just super clean play and well understanding of the champions and the limitations you've got.
Color Me Noided, meanwhile, getting aggressive on that Gromp here. The Blast Cone spawns just in time there. That could have been disastrous.
Yeah, that would have been a flash otherwise.
Yeah, if we look at the gold lead, even though it is 5-5 kills, the fact that they have the 2 dragons, they have 3 turrets as well. They have been able to grab themselves a 3.5k gold lead, and looks like a fight might be starting soon.
I think
Exile did smite away that blue buff there, and that is important because that means the Orianna does not get it. So that's honestly, like, even though they didn't get the blue buff, they pressured it and got the ultimate goal of making sure Orianna does not have it. They did sacrifice pressure on this dragon, though, which is going to spawn fairly soon here in the next 20 seconds. So they are trying to get a pick.
Here. Flag and drag, but he goes golden.
Oh,
Here
no!
comes the Keeper's Verdict. Abyssal moves out of the fight. As you see, Merlinicus in trouble, but a 3-man shockwave hits on the Orianna. Merlinicus is able to get out, just barely. True Shot Barrage hits on the 3 as Color Me Noided finds the Fear from Beyond Death. It's a double kill for Color Me Noided, and no one has died for Abyssal Sapphire. Another double kill to round it out. This one on the Golem. Ace for 0, and Abyssal Sapphire, they're finding these very, very knife edge scraps, but they keep on winning them.
I'm impressed, honestly. Like this fight was so well done here. The Zonias from the Jarvan to stop. I'm really, really impressed with Abyssal in this game.
Really good stopwatch from Golem here. Flag and drag though. On a Color Me Noided into the Killer's Instinct, and they got a shutdown onto the Kai, so that's 700 gold onto the ADC. So they got something for their troubles. And Rainster had a very nice disengage there with the Keeper's Verdict. Lemonades just kept on going, and I think they may have been able to disengage that, perhaps, but when you hard commit with a Jarvan, it's very difficult to go and see, hey, I gotta leave. As
yeah, it's almost like a mental block, like Lee syndrome. Like, you're in, you don't want to get out. Like, you think, oh, I'm here, I'm in, I have the knock up, I'm here, we should be fighting right now, let's do it, let's go in. Like, I found our engage, whereas the engage wasn't quite what they wanted, and great stuff from Color Me Noided, able to TP, and if you noticed, when he did TP, his TP finished channeling after the shockwave, so he was able to just get straight in with the TP movement speed buff and just get on the targets and be the cleanup crew with the shotgun knees.
Yeah, and importantly, the shockwave did not really hit anyone other than Melenicus there. So that is not what you wanted to see. The Jarvan went down before they could really make that wombo combo work, because I think they were trying to hold on to the shockwave until the Zonias was over, but that was too long. Exile has the Gore Drinker, does not have tank stats yet. It's all pseudo tank in that healing. And remember, Gore Drinker was nerfed this patch, so it is not going to heal anywhere near as much, but we do have Color Me getting out. Oh.
Yeah, caught out again. On here, got a little bit far up, showing on a ward he didn't know was there. Ultimate used by Winnie the Doom, as well as by enemy there. Rainster actually also using the Keeper's Verdict, so 3 ults for 1 kill might not be worth it.
I mean, we'll have to see if these ultimates are able to come back up off cooldown before the dragon comes up, because it's not looking like a Baron fight will start quite yet, but we'll have to see if Abyssal Sapphire are able to force something with these ultimates down. Key ultimates too.
Yeah, Golem, once again, looking very good on this Zereth, 4-1 and 4 at the moment. And once again, a clutch stopwatch play. He's now got the Zoni's Hourglass ready to go for the next fight. And as we take a look across, right, these components of Lemonades just don't feel like they're meshing together all that well. Yes, they got a couple wombos off, but now it looks like the communication just isn't there at the moment. Enemy gonna flash, he's taken out by the True Shot Barrage.
Hey.
And just like that, you're ceding over Baron priority. I don't know if Abyssal's going to go for it, but they can certainly threaten it at the very least.
Yeah, without that shockwave, it's going to be super hard for them to try and fight for this. And this is just what this composition is super good at. You've got the Xerath and the Ezreal poking you down. Then you've got, you know, like the Vi and Urgot and the Maokai. They just got to run interference. It allows all that poke to come through. It's so hard to play against, especially when you look at how that early game kind of worked out. They started going in at bad times and taking fights where they didn't fully commit to it, or they kind of got too spread out. The composition needs to be a death ball from Lemonades, because if they go in one at a time, or they kind of like don't all commit to a fight, they're gonna get poked out while they hem and haw over whether or not they should be going in.
I mean, it's the second time this series, it's game number 2, right? The same thing happened game number 1, where they had this wombo, they looked very disparate, they kept on going one at a time, and now, if they make mistakes into this fight, it's just Soul. Abyssal Mew gonna go ahead and flash forward, but was a nice bit of a W from Rainster to keep Abyssal Mew out.
Okay, that is big.
And Maokai ultimate are down. Enemy does have the ult.
Exile's low!
Velos picks up the kill, and now he's flashing out of the way, trying to get away from Thanatos, but Thanatos is able to do the damage in the nick of time, and this might actually be the turn of Abyssal Mew, though. He finds the kill, Rainster 5 taken down, and despite Velos falling, it's still the 5-for-1. That's Soul to Abyssal Sapphire. GG, WP go next, as one would say.
And 9k gold leads are not recovered very often in League of Legends. And it's not likely that this one will be recovered, especially with Ocean Dragon being picked up, and marching to the base with Baron might be the play. Maybe only picks up one inhibitor turret as the squad from Lemonades are coming up now off of their death timers, but the wombo is not working, and just poke and just great counter engage is just Abyssal are doing such a great job.
Yeah, unfortunately, like this patch specifically, I feel the Jarvan is just gonna struggle, because Gore Drinker was so key to how he was able to kind of stay alive in those fights and not just immediately get blown up. Gore Drinker now, with a lot of those nerfs coming through, no longer going to be able to stay alive after going in, and these fights, like, constantly Exile's just sitting on the edge of that poke there. We saw when he went in, he was under a third health at that point already, and all he got was the ultimate down and then immediately died. There's not much Exile can do at this point to really threaten anybody. The damage is not strong enough with the Gore Drinker, and then in combination, you're also not tanky. So Exile's kind of just in no man's land of not really providing much to his team. And that's a problem, because the team comp was kind of built around this idea that he dives in and kills people.
Yeah, now he's going to be spotted.
Oh, no!
He's going to be hit by the Flag and Drag. Abyssal Mew's here for the counter engage, though, as they are able to get a Nautilus ultimate. That one actually hits on 4 people, but the Keeper's Verdict takes the tank out of the fight. Here comes Exile, goes in with the Cataclysm. That's on to the other tank, and here comes the combo wombo unavailable, and Abyssal Mew's on Exile now! Oh! The Fear from Beyond Death! And it's just 1 kill, but it feels like the fight is already over.
I think that just orchestrated the 9k gold lead, because that was a pick if they're even in gold. Like, that's a pick, and Lemonades just walks away from it, +1 up. But just not enough damage, too much pain.
Oh no. Rainster not fast enough on the stand fast presence, and it's a double kill now for Velos. I think that's just game. Exile's back up, but he doesn't have Cataclysm.
I mean, crucially in that early fight in the red jungle there, the shockwave went early. Thanatos, Exile went in, but the shockwave popped where he started the flag and drag from, and from there it just kind of fell apart. There was not enough damage. A lot of damage just built into that shockwave. That is just going to be the game.
Yeah, really well played from Abyssal Sapphire. They were looking for their first win this week. They were able to find it. And Golem 24 definitely showed up this game, but also Merlinicus on this Vi, instrumental both games, as well as Velos on the Ezreal. Like, I'm honestly unsure as to who on this team had the best impact. It looked like star players coming out of every lane. I messed my record up. Excuse me. Abyssal are now 2-1 in the standings, and Lemonades are 0-3. Excuse me. I apologize for that. Yeah, you won 2-1 versus Rara. I'm dumb.
To me, Golem is the MVP there, because not only was that game 1 just super good, but the game 2 here, those ultimates were like heat seeking. I was so impressed with how often those ultimates were hitting, and it was key that they were hitting because it either was enough to force somebody out of a fight, like in a way that they weren't going to be able to come back in, or it was finishing people off. So I plus the stuns in some of those fights were super good. I think Golem honestly just killed it this game.
100%. Golem's timings with like all of his abilities, even his use of Zhonya's to keep himself up alive and stop the die from happening, was really well. Velos in this game as well, he continued to be very, very strong. I mean, on the Ezreal, he was becoming a burst assassin at times, like one of those picks in the mid lane, like the EWQ combo layered with the ultimate just finished off one of the members of Lemonades at times. And as much as Golem deserves the credit, Velos did a great job too, and I don't want to leave him missing praise. I thought he did a great job.
Yeah, and kind of on top of that, right? Like, you look at this Abyssal Sapphire squad, and once again, correcting myself, they won week 1 versus Rara in a 2-1. They had a struggle in week 2 with the O2. This time, they're able to get a 2 over on to Lemons. And they're looking very strong as a team. It looks like they're communicating very well. We are in the 3rd week of the season, so teams are starting to like make things happen. Lemonades has had roster troubles, apparently, at least according to my sources. So, Exile seems to be a strong leader when he's got these leads. A lot of the times, or at least in the past, we're not seeing that this season, and we're not seeing that this series. I wonder how that team is going to recuperate and kind of like learn from their mistakes, right?
Yeah. I mean, obviously there were some kind of miscommunications and stuff. I want to see Lemonades kind of just keep working on those things, because I think their drafts are really solid. I think like what they actually put together as a team composition was really good. There's just some miscommunications in areas. I think XIL played a little bit too aggro. Just not really prepared for how tanky he actually was, or how much damage he could actually do. Sometimes it worked out with that Udyr. They were able to get a couple of really early kills by the supreme damage of the Phoenix Dance Udyr. But this time around, Exile getting a little bit too deep a lot of times without the ability to stay alive in these fights. And it just cost them so much because they just did not have a front line after that.
It seems to me that Lemonades doesn't quite know how to play from behind, whether it's like a couple K gold difference. They seem to be playing as though they're ahead at times with some of the engages Exile is trying to pull off at times, especially with the Udyr game. Jarvan again, they're good engages when your team is there on the same page and following you up. But as soon as there is a little bit of delay with the follow-up, not as much synergy within the team. It's just setting himself up to get picked off, and then Abyssal were able to just do a great job of punishing the lack of communication or coordination from the side of Lemonade.
And once again, Golem 24, rookie, new to the team, looking very solid. Communication has been solid, it looks like, from Abyssal Sapphire as a whole. And I think since we've come around full circle back to that point, it is time to end tonight's broadcast. So from everyone here at Zero Gravity Gaming, the admins, production team, everyone in between, my name is Finnick.
My name is Thousand Eyes.
And I'm JK.
And we will see you next week, same time, same place. We're going to go ahead and send you over to Zero Gravity Gaming LoL 2, as they are in the middle of Game 2 between Goon Squad Gaming, Sigma, and Feed the Nightmare. You don't want to miss that. Rhino and JK on the mic. But until next week, adieu. And we are off air.
Nice. That was quick.